Belarus floods the European Union with migrants, taking a page out of Putin's playbook. Having survived persecution by ISIS at home in Iraq, here on the Belarus-Lithuania border the Yazidis find themselves caught up in a breathtakingly cynical plot. Belarus's authoritarian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, has been accused of using these desperate souls as pawns in his high-stakes game with the European Union. "Don't send me back to Belarus," pleads Rimon, one of a group of 8 migrants, gripping a Lithuanian border guard's arm in fear. The tearful pair emerged through the trees, the son wailing in fear and the father throwing himself to the ground and crying out Allah. In the sky above a helicopter buzzes, the guards hear on their radios that its monitors have picked up the heat signatures of another 15 migrants nearby, waiting to cross the border. Mass revenge. Officials say the migrants are flown from the Middle East to Minsk, and then guided to the Belarus-Lithuania border by unspecified facilitators, where they are allowed to cross, unimpeded by Belarusian border police. Belaruski ally, Russia, plays a role in this dark trade, the Western intelligence official said, adding that the Russian government used a similar migrant scheme in Norway and Finland in 2015. The official said it was highly likely that Belarus benefited from Russian advice, information, and assistance to establish this latest transit route. In June, as the number of migrants arriving in the country escalated shortly after the sanctions were imposed, Lukashenko said, "We will not hold anyone back. We are not their final destination after all. They are headed to enlightened, warm, cozy Europe." The border committee presented videos filmed by their personnel which they said was evidence of their claims the Lithuanian border guard are using force to repel or return migrants, and denying them medical treatment. They also took journalists to a hospital where they introduced one migrant, Hussein, who said he had been forced back and tasered by Lithuanian border guards.
Lithuanian officials deny using force. In response to the increase in migrant numbers trying to enter the country, Lithuania has begun building a thick fence along its border. Previously it relied on dense woodland to deter anyone from crossing. This weekend, Lithuanian officials said, the number of migrants crossing into the country dropped to 0, after Lithuania sent reinforcements to the border area and began broadcasting warning messages in Arabic, Kurdish, French, Russian and English on loudspeakers. But while Lithuania has seen some success in its handling of the crisis in recent days, the threat has shifted. Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis has warned that Belarus is now seeking a liberal visa regime with Pakistan or Morocco, in order to continue the flow of migrants. And the issue has spread to Lithuania's neighbors, as those already in Belarus seek alternative routes. On Monday, Poland reported that it had detained a record 349 undocumented migrants over the weekend, many of whom were Iraqi. Another of Belarus' EU neighbors, Latvia, detained 140 migrants on Monday, and dozens of others over the weekend. Its interior minister has proposed a state of emergency, and officials have expressed the need for migrant camps. Police stations overflow. ISIS murdered thousands of Yazidi men and enslaved thousands of Yazidi women and children between 2014 and 2017, in what the United Nations has called a genocide. One of the men had a $542 return plane ticket from the Iraqi capital, Baghdad, with him. They say they took a taxi from the Belarusian capital, and then followed GPS through the forest and across the border. The border guards then found them in the forest, before they were taken to a local border guard station, for further processing and then transport to a detention facility. There have already been several cases that caused concern, the official said, but these may have been individuals who were previously highlighted for links to terror groups and then made the journey not for terrorism but for economic reasons.
In the settlement of Paskanis, the border guards have handed over their station's kitchen to the new arrivals. In Divanisks, local residents are protesting the conversion of an old apartment block into a detention center for up to 500 migrants. Those in the crowd say they are not against migrants, but argue that they should not be housed so close to the village nursery school. Another camp at Druskininkai brims with Africans and Iraqis, furious at being crammed into military tents and locked into the center during the pandemic. Many here insist they did not pay traffickers to get this far. But Ali, from Baghdad, said some pay 5,000 to 6,000 euros, even as much as 15,000 euros to a facilitator or trafficker for a VIP service to the most prized destination in Europe, Germany. Polly said the Belarusians push us, they use us like guns, because Belarus has trouble with Lithuania. Like weapons. They use us, but we need this.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.